Hello everyone, my name is Ishmeet Kaur. I am your trainer for the subject Strategic Business Reporting. The topic of this video is our continuation from of chapter 1. In last video of chapter 1, we have discussed about conceptual framework. What is the meaning of conceptual framework? What was the purpose of introducing conceptual framework? When we have to use conceptual framework, we have all discussed in part 1 of our video. ठीक है. In today's video we will discuss what is the meaning of fair value. Basically we are discussing here IFRS 13 fair value measurement. ठीक है. The objective of IFRS 13 is to provide a single source of guidance for fair value measurement where it is required by a reporting standard rather than it being spread throughout the several reporting standards. The basic reason, the basic idea behind introducing IFRS 13 was that almost in all standards now we have given the reference of fair value. So from where we can derive this fair value? IFRS 13 has been suggested for us for this. Many accounting standards require or allow items to be measured at fair value. Some examples from your prior studies include IAS 16 and IFRS Business Combination, IFRS 3. In both these standards, they have referred on number of times to fair value. Now we will discuss in this topic or in this standard from where we can derive it our fair value, or what is the meaning of a fair value. Before going to fair value, we will discuss to whom this standard applies or to whom this standard does not apply. These standard does not apply to share-based payment transaction, the transactions which are based on the value of share, ठीक है, or IFRS 16. On these two areas, in these two areas, this standard does not apply. ठीक है. Definition of fair value. So starting with IFRS 13. What is the meaning of fair value? Fair value is the price. Which price? Which we will receive by selling an asset or by transferring a liability. In which transaction? Orderly transaction means the parties are not related. Between market participants on the measurement date or at the measurement date. At the measurement date, the price which is received by us by selling the asset or transferring our liability. ठीक है, the amount paid for transferring a liability between market participants in an orderly transactions is called fair value. And what is the meaning of market participant? Market participant are knowledgeable third parties. That is, market participants are not buyers or seller on that particular transaction in which we have to decide about the fair value. Market participants are knowledgeable third parties. When pricing an asset for a liability, they would take into account condition, location, restriction or use. Market participant may vary on the basis of conditions of the contract, location where the contract is entered into and restriction of use of asset or liability. ठीक है? It should be assumed that market participants are not forced into transaction. That is, this is not a forced transaction. This is an independent transaction which are entered into by the market participants. IFRS 13 notes that there are various approaches to determine fair value of an asset or liability. Market approach, cost approach or income approach. ठीक है. Fair value can be measured on the basis of market approach. Market approach says the prices prevailing in the market should be considered. That is sale prices. ठीक है. Next, cost approach says replacement cost of the asset should be considered. That is the cost at which the asset will be replaced. Income approach says the future cash flows of the asset should be assessed and then the asset should be valued. Whether approach is taken, the aim is always the same, to estimate the price that would be transferred in a transaction with a market participant. ठीक है. Whether approach is taken, कोई भी approach ले लो आप, ठीक है, कोई भी अप्रोच सेलेक्ट कर लो, हमने क्या करना है, हमने वो प्राइस डिटरमिन करना है. द प्राइस इज टू बी एस्टिमेटेड जो ट्रांसफर होगा ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर ट्रांजेक्शन. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, the price. Fair value is market based measurement. Obviously, fair value is basically a market based measurement. Not one that is entity specific. ठीक है. Fair value is not entity specific. Fair value is not changed according to the circumstances of the entity. ठीक है. As such, when determining the price at which an asset would be sold, observable data from active market should be used. Active market means the market in which the asset is actively traded should be used. Data from that market should be used. What is active market? Active market is a market where transactions for an asset liability occur frequently. I have already told to you. The market in which the asset or liability is actively traded, that is asset or liability, that particular asset or liability frequently has been sold or purchased by the market participants, that is third parties, have to be considered here. ठीक है. IFRS 13 classify the inputs into valuation technique in 3 levels. So basically IFRS 13 gives us 3 levels on the basis of which we will decide a fair value. Level 1 means those active markets for that particular asset or liability in which that identical asset or liability has been traded or frequently been traded. ठीक है. Inputs are quoted price of financial assets in active markets. Level 2 inputs of observable price. In this level 2 inputs, we do not get able to मतलब हम क्या होते हैं, in we do not able to get identical assets, prices of identical asset, but rather we have to observe that prices of particular asset from the similar asset that is available in the market. ठीक है. This may include quoted prices of similar asset, quoted prices of identical asset in less active market. Identical asset in less active market, that is in the market where these are not frequently traded. Observable inputs that are not prices. Then level 3. Level 3 are unobservable and based on the cash or profit generating ability of the asset or liability. The hierarchy of these levels should be level 1, level 2 and level 3. That is, we have to approach first for level 1. If we are not able to determine our price from level 1, then we go for level 2 and then level 3. ठीक है. A significant adjustment to level 2 input would lead to being categorized as level 3. If we adjust the prices available in level 2, then it will become level 3 input. ठीक है. So priority should be given to level 1, then lowest to level 3. ठीक है. Level 1. Equity shares of listed entity. Obviously, listed entity will have quoted price available on the stock exchange, so we can get there from the price. Level 2 inputs. Examples of level 2 inputs: building held and used. Building held and used will, in the quoted market, in the market, similar prices of similar buildings will be used to determine the fair value of our building. Level 3, cash generating unit. Example of cash generating unit. Cash generating unit का मतलब when the assets are combined, because मतलब क्या होता था कि सारे assets combine कर देते थे हम particular assets, because they are not able to identify because they are not able to identify it separately. हम उनको separately identify नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है. उनको हम कहते थे कैश जनरेटिंग यूनिट. ठीक है. और कैश जनरेटिंग यूनिट, द प्राइसेस फॉर कैश जनरेटिंग यूनिट आर नॉट अवेलेबल इन लेवल 1 एंड लेवल 2 इनपुट डायरेक्टली. वी कैन गैदर इट फ्रॉम लेवल 3 इनपुट ओनली by observing the prices. ठीक है, बाय ऑब्जर्विंग द कैश फ्लो और प्रॉफिट ऑफ द कैश जनरेटिंग यूनिट. ठीक है. Next is understanding 3. B has an investment property that is measured at fair value. Okay. This property is rented out on short-term leases. The directors wish to fair value the property by estimating the present value of net cash flows that property will generate for B. They argue that this best reflects the way in which the building will generate economic benefits for B. So basically they have used level 3 inputs. They have observed the cash flow generating ability of the building and then measure it accordingly. The building is unique, although there have been many sales of similar buildings, means level 2 input is available, but they have not used level 2 input. Whether the valuation technique suggested by the director complies with the International Financial Reporting Standard? No. Because according to IFRS, अगर हमारे पास लेवल 2 इनपुट का प्राइस है तो हमने लेवल 2 इनपुट का प्राइस कंसीडर करना है. We cannot jump to the level 3 input when the prices for level 2 or level 1 input is available. ठीक है. Next, market. In this topic we will discuss different types of markets in which from which these fair value can be derived. First is principal market and then most advantageous market. Let us discuss what is principal market. IFRS 13 says that fair value should be measured by reference to the principal market. First, preference should be given to the principal market. What is principal market? Principal market is the market with the greatest activity for the asset or liability being measured. जहां पे जिस मार्केट में हमारी एक्टिविटी मेजरिंग की एसेट और लायबिलिटी की सबसे ज्यादा होती होगी हम उसको प्रिंसिपल मार्केट कहेंगे. ठीक है. The entity must be able to assess the principal market at the measurement date. This means that the principal market for the same asset can differ between entities. Depending upon the circumstances, one entity has different principal market for the asset and another entity may have different principal market for that particular asset. So they are saying basically here that principal market may be different for the same entities depending upon their circumstances. ठीक है. So next is most advantageous market. What is the meaning of most advantageous market? If there is no principal market, the fair value is measured by reference to prices in most advantageous market. If the prices, if the conditions exist that we are not able to derive our prices from principal market or there is no principal market for that particular element, then we have to look our prices in most advantageous market. Then what is the meaning of most advantageous market? Most advantageous market is one that maximizes the net amount of receiving from selling an asset. That is which maximizes the asset, maximizes a benefit. ठीक है. जो मार्केट में हमें सबसे ज्यादा प्राइस मिलेगा फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर एसेट वी विल कॉल इट एज मोस्ट एडवांटेजियस मार्केट. Transaction cost will play a role in deciding which market is most advantageous market. However, fair value is not adjusted. If there is any transaction cost, then we will consider it for deciding whether it is a market or most advantageous market or whether different market is most advantageous market. But we will not actually reduce it from the fair value. ठीक है. सो ये आपको और ज्यादा अच्छे तरीके से समझ आएगा जब हम अपनी नेक्स्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग करेंगे. अंडरस्टैंडिंग 4. An asset is sold in two different active market at different prices. An entity enters into a transaction in both markets and can assess the prices in those markets for the asset at the measurement date. So basically there are two markets, market 1 and market 2. प्राइजेस आर कोटेड इन डिफरेंट मार्केट्स. मार्केट 1 में 26 है एंड मार्केट 2 में 25 है. ट्रांजैक्शन कॉस्ट एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट कॉस्ट आर आल्सो कोटेड. Net price received 21 and 22. What is the fair value of the asset if the market 1 is the principal market? That is, we have to consider only market 1 here, not market 2. ठीक है, let us see our answer, what the text is saying about this. ठीक है, if market 1 is the principal market, then the fair value would be measured using price that would be received in that market less transport cost. ट्रांसपोर्ट कॉस्ट लेस करके जो प्राइस आएगा वो हमारा प्रिंसिपल मार्केट का प्राइस माना जाएगा. हम अब इन दैट केसेस वी हैव नॉट कंसीडर्ड द ट्रांजैक्शन कॉस्ट. द ट्रांजैक्शन कॉस्ट शैल नॉट बी डिडक्टेड व्हाइल कैलकुलेटिंग फेयर वैल्यू. ठीक है, next part of the question is, if no principal market can be determined, then what will be the, then we will go for the most advantageous market. If neither market is the principal market for the asset, then the fair value would be determined in most advantageous market, because we have already discussed, if no principal market exists for that particular asset or liability, then we have to go for most advantageous market. The most advantageous market is the market that maximizes the net amount received from the sale. नेट अमाउंट रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम द सेल जो होगा वो मेरा मोस्ट एडवांटेजियस मार्केट का प्राइस होगा. सो व्हाइल कंपेयरिंग दीज टू मार्केट्स वी केम टू नो दैट in market 2 we have received maximum price as compared to market 1, because in market 2 price received is 22 and market 1 price received is 21. So while comparing, the net amount received in market 2, 22 is higher than the net amount received in market 1. The market 2 is therefore the most advantageous market. But while calculating fair value in these market 2, we will not consider our transaction cost. That is 25 minus 25 minus transport cost 2 will be considered, and accordingly 23 will be the fair value. So here we conclude that we have to consider transaction cost only for the purpose of deciding whether which market is most advantageous, whether market 1 or market 2. But while actually calculating fair value, we should not have considered, we must not have considered transaction cost. ठीक है, non financial asset. The difference between the financial and non-financial asset is covered in detail in chapter 12. Financial asset include contractual right to receive cash or investments in equity shares. What do you mean by financial asset? Although financial and non-financial assets have been discussed in your subject in chapter 12, but the basic meaning of financial asset is that when we have a right to receive cash or we have investments in equity shares, then these are called financial assets. ठीक है, non-financial assets, property, plant and equipment, because in these cases property, plant and equipment or intangible asset, we do not have fixed right to receive cash, or these are not investments in equity shares of the another entity. So these are not considered financial asset, these are rather called non-financial assets. ठीक है, the fair value of non-financial asset. IFRS 13 says that the fair value of non-financial asset should be based on its highest and best use. So basically, while measuring the value of non-financial asset, we have to consider the highest and best use of asset and accordingly value our asset. The highest and best use is the use that a market participant would adopt in order to maximize its value. ठीक है, the current use of non-financial asset can be assumed to be highest and best use unless evidence exists to the contrary. Means जो हम एसेट यूज कर रहे हैं जिस पर्पस के लिए, वो ही उसका हाईएस्ट और बेस्ट यूज माना जाएगा अनलेस कॉन्ट्रेरी कंडीशंस एग्जिस्ट. ठीक है, the highest and best use should not take into uses that are physically possible, legally permissible, financially feasible. हाईएस्ट एंड बेस्ट यूज डिसाइड करते वक्त हमने क्या क्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स देखनी है? जो फिजिकली पॉसिबल है, लीगली परमिसिबल है that is which is not illegal, and financially we are capable of acquiring that asset, financially feasible. IFRS 13 says a use can legally permissible if it is not legally approved. ठीक है? Next. Understanding 5 है. 5 quarters have purchased 100% of the ordinary shares of 3 halves and is trying to determine the fair value of net asset at the acquisition date. 3 halves owns land that is currently developed for industrial use. The fair value of the land if used in a manufacturing operation is 5 million. So basically 3 halves have owns a land which is valued at 5 million. अगर वो manufacturing operations के लिए use होता है तो many nearby plots of lands have been developed for residential use, but the nearby plots are for the residential use. The land owned by 3 halves does not have planning permission for residential use. That is, we have to obtain first to use that land for residential. Although permissions has been granted for similar plots of land, the fair value of 3 halves has a vacant site of residential development of 3 million. However, transformation cost is 0.3 million would need to be incurred. How should fair value should be determined? अब हमने ये पता लगाना है कि फेयर वैल्यू हम कैसे डिटरमिन करेंगे इस केस में. ठीक है. आंसर. Land is a non-financial asset. IFRS 13 says that the fair value of non-financial asset should be based on its highest and best use. So we have discussed a little bit earlier that the non-financial asset valuation should be based on highest and best use of the asset. This is presumed to be its current use unless evidence exists to the contrary. Current use, what is current use? 5 million. ठीक है. But the contrary conditions exist in this case. That is, we cannot use it for the residential purpose. But however, there is evidence that market participants would be interested in using this asset for residential use. More benefits can be derived by residential use, but this is not legally permissible. Then how we came to know this residential use? This fair value. Residential use of the land is not legally prohibited. Legally prohibited नहीं है. Legally prohibited नहीं है, but we have to obtain permission from the authorities. Similar plots of lands have been granted planning permission. So it is likely that particular plot of land also be granted planning permission. If used for residential purpose, the fair value of the land would be 6 minus 0.3. It would be seen that land's highest and best use is 5.7 rather than 5 million. ठीक है? So the value of non-financial asset would be 5.7 million. ठीक है? Next. Investor perspective. Below is an extract of a disclosure note about the fair value of an entity's assets and liabilities, level 1, level 2 and level 3. Financial assets are valued on the basis of level 1 input and financial liabilities which are contingent consideration are valued on the basis of level 3 inputs. The fair values of the traded equities have been determined with reference to the market price quotations. Traded equities, market price quotations, level 1 input. The fair value of contingent consideration is estimated based on the forecast future performance of the acquired business over time frame and as part of acquisition agreement. Discounting as appropriate. Key assumptions include rates, expected value, selling volumes and prices. This disclosure informs investor the fair value of the investment in equities have been derived using level 1 input. As an investor, I am more confident in values derived from level 1 input. But level 3 inputs are least prioritized. ठीक है? This measurement required no judgment, eliminating risk of bias and can be verified by knowledgeable third parties. Obviously, level 1 input guarantees more relevance or faithful representation. So, risk involved in these values which are derived from the level 1 is least. ठीक है? Next. In contrast, the disclosure informs investor that the fair value of the contingent liability has been derived from level 3. This measurement therefore involved a high level of judgment, increasing risk of management bias. The inputs, the fair values which are derived from the level 3 inputs are highly risked. In these areas, risks are involved. The more risks are involved as compared to level 1 and level 2 input. So, the priority is given to level 1 or level 2 inputs. The disclosure will enable the investor to know from where the fair value have been derived. Either it is from level 1 or it is from level 3, so that he can assess the risk involved in that particular measurement criteria. ठीक है? There is also a risk that the amount entity eventually plays different materially from year-end carrying amount. For this reason, the disclosure provides additional information about management have estimated the fair value of the liability. So, the investor can assess the adequacy of methodology used and reach a conclusion. ठीक है? Due to the level of risk, some investors may decide to sell their shares in an entity if its fair value measurements are overly reliant on level 3 inputs. So, if the investors, by viewing financial statements, conclude that most of the values are derived from level 3 inputs, then he will go कि मैं अपना पैसा, अपनी मनी जो है वो withdraw कर लूँ, क्योंकि लेवल 3 इनपुट्स इन्वेस्टर्स को उतना कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं देते जितना लेवल 1 या 2 देते हैं. ठीक है? So here is the end of our chapter. We have discussed a lot of topic in this chapter. How conceptual frameworks were developed, what was the purpose of developing them, a brief history of conceptual framework, when the conceptual framework is to be used, why the conceptual frameworks was introduced. Next in this video we have discussed about IFRS 13. What is the meaning of fair value? What are active markets? What do you mean by market participants? We have discussed a lot. ठीक है? So अब इस वीडियो को यहाँ एंड करते हैं. नेक्स्ट वीडियो में we will discuss chapter 2 of your syllabus. Thank you.